Time and 10 brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah.
When it comes to our edge, right? We're constantly trying to find our edge, right? And as we go into year two, year one, extremely important, right, guys, for setting the tone and establishing the way that we want to operate, the way that we want to play, and going through that. I think we did that.
He slipped and he fell down. Trevor fell down on the play. Now he's going to try and run it in. He's in the end zone. Touchdown. Trevor ran it in. He ran it in. Touchdown.
There's no guaranteed success, but I do feel like this is sustainable. The things that we're doing, I know offensively and defensively, I mean, just both sides of the ball had a hell of a year when it got down to the end where we finished and the growth that we had.
There is no year more important than year two. There's no year. Because, man, let's be honest, there's been a lot of one-hit wonders. That's the reality.
Running room for Parker Washington, 45, 40, 30, along the right sideline. Parker Washington, he's going to bring it back. Parker Washington, touchdown Jacksonville. There are no flags.
They just go hop on the bandwagon right now. Everybody in this locker room on the Jaguars team, even upstairs, we know everybody probably going to try to hop on this bandwagon now, but we don't want anybody. They can stay where they at. It's us. It's all about the Jags.
Knocked down. Devon Hamilton knocked it down. It's still good. The Jaguars win it. The Jaguars win it. That ball is going to be knocked away. The Jags win it in overtime with another terrific defensive play. All these cardiac cats.
Everybody but us. Excuse my language, mama and dad, grandmama, but everybody but us.
What are we doing to separate ourselves so that we take the next step as a team?
Now, after that sack, Josh has set the franchise career record for sacks. Congratulations to Josh Hines Allen.
I can't really sit up here and say that, what our season is going to look like next year, but I can say that we got a team full of guys that's committed to each other. Obviously, the team's going to be a little different. You heard what Coach just said. It's a business at the end of the day. Some people are going to be here, some people are not. But the guys that step on this field, leading to OTAs, to training camp, to the first game of the season, to the last, those are guys we're going to ride with, and those opportunities we're going to try to develop and win.
We're trading up in the draft. We're moving from pick 5 to pick 2, and we're doing it because you're the one we've been hunting up.
Yes, sir. That's the best decision.
That ball's caught by Travis Hunter. He's into the end zone. Touchdown.
To be able to put it all together this spring, I think it'll be fun.
Fires middle of the field. That was caught. 35, 30, 25, 20. Brian Thomas Jr. He hung on to that one. Fires middle of the field. That ball is going to be caught for the touchdown. Jacoby Myers. Along the left sideline. 50, 45, 30, 20, 10, 5. Touchdown. Touchdown. Touchdown.
We're going to bring you a product that you all can be proud of. And we are so appreciative of your support. With that, game on.
Now, Jaguars Today on 1010XL with Mike Dempsey, Fat Tony, and RJ Saunders.
All right, good morning, everybody, and welcome in. Fresh week here on Jaguars Today, ticking ever closer to the NFL draft. Trayvon Walker got paid, and we'll discuss that and a lot more for your Jacksonville Jaguars coming up this morning. Tony, how was your weekend?
Oh, good, yeah.
Yeah, happy post-Easter to you.
Yeah.
Hope you had a nice one. RJ Saunders is working in there. I'm not gonna mess with him today. He's working hard, so we put together a program that is worthy of the listening audience this morning. So I'm going to let him do his business out there, Tone.
Yeah.
But the weekend, sometimes it's the case that breaking news happens when we're on the air.
Yep.
But instead, a few hours after we went off on Friday, we got news that Trayvon got his deal done with the Jacksonville Jaguars, 4-year extension, $110 million. I was just talking with the drill a few minutes ago, Tony. Honestly, if you would have asked me, would this get done? Would you want this deal from the Jaguars standpoint? I would have signed up for this a month ago.
Yeah.
I was really, my personal, and maybe I'll end up being wrong, but personally, I'm surprised Trayvon's representatives were cool signing off on a deal that pays him less than a guy like Jalen Phillips, who's never had 10 sacks in a year. So Trayvon and Jalen Phillips have almost identical sack numbers. Jalen Phillips has played one more season in the league than Trayvon has. He just got $30 million in free agency.
Yeah.
Boye Mafe's never been a full-time starter in the NFL. He's never had a 10-sack season, got 20. Odafe Owe is comparable to Trayvon. He got about 25 a year. I think 27 and a half, Tone. When we look back a year from now, rather than having to potentially franchise tag Travon Walker, I think this deal is going to hold up very well economically.
Yeah, with where I thought this deal was going, right? We've talked a lot about the 5 guys that were extension eligible for the team and where we had them ranked. Like we did that as the top 5 a couple weeks ago, right? Like how important we thought each of them were, all those kind of things. And I thought that his was going to be the most complicated because where I thought the number was going to land, I look at, 27 and a half a year. I go, in my mind, I think they saved somewhere between $8 and $12 to $13 million on what I thought the average annual value on the deal was going to be. Like I thought it was going to land somewhere in the mid-30s.
If it did, though, I don't think it was ever going to land there this offseason. I think Trayvon would have had to go out there and prove that.
That's what I'm saying. Like I thought the whole thing was going to be. I'm not sure they're going to be willing. They're going to be able to offer enough for Trayvon and not bet I'll have another big year and then you'll see. Like, I wasn't sure that they'd even be able to make an offer on a deal that Trayvon would be, yeah, that's good enough, right? Like, I didn't think 27 and a half was going to be the number that would get it done. I'm glad that it is.
Oh, me too.
And I think it makes a lot of sense from the Jaguars' perspective to get this one specifically done because of the premium of the value, right? Trayvon is a really, really difficult guy to replace. And if the cost is going to be 27 and a half a year to keep that guy around for another 5 years, makes all the sense in the world to me to get it done now if you're able to get it done now. We just haven't seen the Jags in position very often to get the deal done now with guys of this kind of caliber. It's why Josh is playing on the number he's playing on right now, right? They didn't even negotiate with him in the offseason where they could. They waited that extra year. They even talked to him about an extension. And then he had the big 17.5 sack year. And it's like, well, now the number is what the number is.
Right. But if you look at Josh's number and considering he has had a 17.5 sack year, it's a pretty affordable number too.
Yeah.
I mean, both of these,
that's kind of the crazy part about the Trayvon deal too. Right. When we get 2 years into this deal, we'll be like, they got Trayvon on
right.
What?
That's the point. And look, as far as I understand it, I don't know this for dead certainty, because I haven't seen it written specifically. And if anyone out there in the listening audience, please bring it to my attention. I'd love to see it. I went to Spot Track, and Spot Track has Trayvon on this year still at roughly $15 million because that's the 5th-year option. Then it added 4 more years on without the specifics of each year because the details of how each year is going to break out haven't been released. So is this 4 years on top of the 5th-year option he was already going to play under this year? And if it is, it's even better. Because then you're getting a year for $15 million. And granted, that was going to be the case either way. But I'm telling you, I'm with you. Now, if Trayvon had just had an 8-sack year this year, as young as he was going to be in free agency, keep in mind, he turned 25 in December.
Right.
This guy's going to be 25 for almost the entirety of the 5th year he's played in the National Football League. He has got, by far, he should athletically have his best football in front of him right now. His best year should all be in front of him, and I think he's a hard worker. I think, look, does he have to produce more sacks? Absolutely. You're not paying him $27.5 million to be a nice guy to stop the run. He's got all the other things. He's done. If he had 10 sacks last year, I don't think you're going to get this contract. Honestly, 3 consecutive 10-sack seasons. Again, the money they're giving out. So we'll discuss that at length today, right? The good and bad. Obviously, Tony and I feel like from the team standpoint, we didn't think they could get a deal done in this range at this point in the offseason. No. So now it makes you wonder, will the dominoes fall quickly on Brenton Strange and Parker Washington? Because they've been the other guys mentioned by James Gladstone as being in contact with the team to try to extend them out. Wouldn't surprise me at all if we see them come rapid fire in the next couple of weeks here. Yeah. If you want to get in today and discuss Travon Walker, the newly rich young man. He was rich by my standards anyway, but he's filthy now as far as I'm concerned. So $27.5 million per year, 4-year, $110 million extension. Good, bad, overpay? Are we just valuing our own guy too much because we like Trayvon? There's some of that factors into these kind of things. There's no question about that. So give us your feedback on that 641-1010 on the Key Buick GMC phone lines or on the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures. Today's question of the day on social media, simply asking you your reaction to the deal and the numbers that have been reported. And those are the reported numbers. We never know necessarily every little bit of the nitty-gritty for a week or two as the fallout comes out. But either way, it looks like Travon Walker will be a Jacksonville Jaguar for the next half decade moving forward. At the very least, it is also Mock Draft Monday, so we've got some of those that we'll share with you today. But let's lead off with thoughts on Travon Walker and what this means for the future of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Mike Dempsey, Tony Smith, and yes, RJ Saunders here today. Hit us up on the socials at MD_1010XL, at 1010XL Fat Tony, and at R has no J.
Da, 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 da.
All right, RJ working hard to make sure we can hear from Trayvon himself coming up this hour, so we will do that and love your reaction on it as well. The Jaguars strike once again. Is it money well spent, in your opinion? And all opinions on that front, welcome here. You're listening to Jaguars Today. Stream us on YouTube, Facebook, on X. This is 1010XL and 92.5 FM. Hey, folks, Mike Dempsey here for big number one, Duval Ford. If you're looking for the best selection of trucks in Jacksonville, look no further. Truck time rolling at big number one, Duval Ford, with Jacksonville's largest selection of brand new trucks. Massive discounts, over $10,000 off select models. That's right. Savings you can't get anywhere else here in Jacksonville. Your next truck is waiting at big number one, Duval Ford. So swing by the showroom at 1616 Cassett Avenue or just schedule a visit online at duvalford.com. It's truck time at big number one, Duval Ford.
Jaguars Today for the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios.
Real power lies in understanding.
The power of a shared goal. The power of Jacksonville Sports Radio. 1010XL.
Mike Dempsey. If you're thinking about a bathroom upgrade, maybe turning that old tub into a safer walk-in shower, check out 5 Star Bath Solutions. I shopped around, talked to several companies, and I chose 5 Star because their customer service was simply incredible. Responsive, honest, upfront about the entire project, and their pricing was even better than expected. When you're ready for a fresh look, better comfort, and a bathroom space you'll love using every day, schedule your free consultation at 5starbathsolutions.com and get the 5-star experience.
Jaguars Today.
You're settled into a Dream Finders Homes Monday.
We're certainly facing interesting economic times. For me, it's comforting to know my money's in good hands with ITP Partners. Jacksonville guys taking care of my Jacksonville money. Experience? Yeah, that's Chris Bryan, Jeff Hartman, Reagan Wright, Dan Abel, Scott Regner, Janice Cobb, and Reed Wingate. They have the expertise and knowledge to take care of your money. For more info, go to itppartners.com. ITP Partners, they're my financial partners for life.
Non-compensated client testimonial may not be representative of all client experiences. No guarantee of future performance or success.
He tackles talk radio like a middle linebacker in the gap.
I tell it like I see it, and I see it like a middle linebacker.
Tommy Mack. Fridays on Jaguars Today. Unsealed by Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors on 1010XL.
Beat the spring cleaning rush and call Zero Res. Hey, Hicken here. Step into a fresher, cleaner home this spring with Zero Res. You might think because you mop off and your floors are clean, but they're actually collecting dirt not obvious to the eye. After a while, the hardwood or tile or LVP looks dull. This is where Zero Res can help. This month, 20% off all hard floor cleaning. 3 rooms of carpet clean starting at just $135. Call 287-5727 or go online at zeroresjacksonville.com. Make sure to ask for the 1010XL special.
Zero Res.
Hey gang, Prosser here. Have you been thinking about selling your home and you haven't pulled the trigger? Let me tell you about Chad and Sandy and the experts that will help you make that decision. Mortgage rates have dropped. They're expected to move lower. Home sales momentum is building, so now's the time to get your home ready to maximize your sales price. It's time to call Chad and Sandy, the proven experts to sell your home. Need to sell now, need to sell fast, need max price. Check, check, check. Chad and Sandy have the science behind it. Using their proprietary Market Max system, Chad and Sandy guarantee your home sold at an agreed-upon price and deadline, or they will buy it. Jonathan writes from Mount Pleasant. The only thing standing between me and my dream of hitting the road in my RV was selling my Mount Pleasant home. After hearing Chad and Sandy on the radio, I gave them a call. The results were unreal. In just 3 days, I had multiple offers at full asking price. So can you. Call the local experts I trust and recommend. Call Chad and Sandy, 414-6200 or ChadAndSandy.com.
Spring is in the air, and Alev's long-lasting pain relief is here to keep you moving. The days are longer and the flowers are blooming. Whether it's gardening, yard work, or just spending more time outdoors, spring is a way of getting us moving despite any body pain. That's where Aleve can keep you going. With just one dose, Aleve gives you long-lasting body pain relief for up to 12 hours. From sunup to sundown, Aleve's got your back. Try Aleve. Use as directed for minor aches and pains.
New year, new course.
Mind if I play through?
The Coastal Equipment Guggen Open at the Golf Club of Southampton, April 27th. For a chance for you and a partner to play, text Guggen to the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures at 641-1010. Enjoy a Chick-fil-A breakfast and lunch from Dandy Foods. Chip and putt to win a Bernie grill from Stonecore. Pick up sunscreen products from Beaches Dermatology. Thanks to our sponsors, Lucas Tree Service, Instant Keys, Standard Insurance, and Harbor Dental Care.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still, present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch. Everything you need to know about the Jags. Jaguars Today on 1010XL.
It's funny, Tone. We'll get into Mock Draft Monday a little bit later on as we knocked out some mocks based on the consensus rankings at Pro Football Network this morning.
Mm-hmm.
Generally, I've not been able to get Malachi Lawrence, the edge rusher out of UCF, with pick 56 lately. He goes before then, so I would think, when he falls to me and I take him, I will be graded well for that steal of a selection. And they gave me a C+ when I took him to 56.
Yeah, I took him too, right at 56 in the mock draft that we're going through today. And then I saw, for whatever reason, on the consensus rankings on there, he's 60th. I don't know why, but he's 60th on their consensus rankings there on the site. And I saw it again when I just did another one. I was like, huh? So I was like, what is going on with this? And he's just right there. I don't know why he's that low on that consensus ranking. Someone's dragging it down.
Yeah, someone must be. It's not PFF. PFF has him ranked 54th. Right. And I did a quick PFF mock just a minute ago to compare, and I got him again at 56, and I got an A for taking him at 56. So right. I will look at the people who grade me the best after the first few rounds of the NFL draft as far as the Jags are concerned. All right, we've got Travon Walker coming up here. So he spoke to the media over the course of the weekend. So let's hear his reaction to being rich. Did you see the one? I didn't even see who. It was a defensive lineman from Georgia, was on with NFL Network when the news broke, and he was going nuts. He knew Trayvon or at least, I don't know how
he's
well
training
he knew
with him. Yeah,
he's trained with him, right? Yeah. And he was very happy for him, so that was pretty cool. But Trayvon, coming off a injury-marred season, there's no question about it. Look, the guy plays hard. He's out there giving you everything he can, even with a club on the hand. And if you don't think that the production has been worth $27.5 million a year, that's fine. We'd love to hear about that from you at 1010, at 641-1010. But Trayvon asked over the weekend how his injuries and his low sack total last season have him, what kind of mindset, to prepare for this offseason and to top some of those numbers?
It definitely affected me with the injuries, but just having 2 back-to-back double-digit sack seasons, then coming off a season like last year, it's just always, it's football. It's a 100% injury rate. Those injuries going to be there, but you just got to continuously fight through those things, and that's what I tried my best to do. And as long as I'm not putting the team in a bad position in my eyes to jeopardize winning games or whatever, I'm going to always try my best to be out there on the field regardless of banged up, hurt or not, because everybody around the league at a certain point in the season is going to be banged up at some point. So I just try to keep going.
Look, there's banged up and I can't grab you because my hand is in a club, and now that being said, I don't think Trayvon was going to be a 12 sack guy last year, but could he have been a 7 sack guy last year, which granted, it's not great, but it's not the steep fall off that he had from having over 20 in back-to-back seasons.
Yeah, look, he was coming off the back-to-back double-digit season, so yeah, it's a bit of a disappointment that he had the season he had, and obviously the club on the hand has to have something to do with it. I don't know where he would have wound up, I'm with you, but it certainly would have been above 3.5, I'm guessing, if he hadn't suffered the wrist injury there. He was also asked about how, since he's come into the league, obviously the Jags made him the #1 overall pick in the draft. How has his leadership style evolved since he's gotten into the NFL?
Man, I think for me, it's just kind of, I wouldn't even say a more vocal me. It's just like, obviously leading by example. I know what's expected in the league. I know what's expected from a leadership standpoint. I know what's expected from this staff that we have. And I just try to go out there and be the best version of me every day. And I feel like I've been a leader my whole life. So a lot of things just really translate to talking to the players coming to me, asking questions. It's just about me opening up, telling them things that I went through. Just maybe say if I was a rookie or whatever. But yeah, that's really all it is.
Look, Trayvon may never be a yeller and screamer on the practice field, but Tone, again, he's very young. He's 25. There are guys coming in the league, like Tyler Shuck was older as a rookie last year than Trayvon is now.
Yeah.
And he's going into his 5th year. Now, that's a lot of that stuff happened during the COVID years, but there are, 25 years old, man, there's still so much molding you can do with Trayvon. I think if you just go back and think about Trayvon at a podium 4 years ago, every answer is 10 seconds or less.
Yeah.
Couldn't get off that podium quick enough. I just think he's more comfortable in his own skin. He's a young guy. He strikes me as kind of like, like a more of a shy personality, not just a in your face kind of thing. And, if he's very comfortable, and I think he's gotten very comfortable as a member of this organization, he's opened up a little bit more. So what specifically in his game will Travon Walker be working on this offseason?
Number one, my main thing was just working on getting healthy, and then it's just fine-tuning those little small details within my hands, eye coordination, things of that nature. Just trying to keep my twitch as far as my strength, wrist mobility, working on a lot of things, but it's basically just kind of ironing out some small details. The further you get in your career, like it gets harder to, I wouldn't say it gets harder to continuously elevate. It's just like you got to find those little small little details within your game and continuously work those things.
Obviously, the wrist injury is something he's got to get past.
Of
right?
course,
So
right.
whatever that, the immobility of that hand, he's got to get past that, work through it, and get it back to where it's been. Because obviously, look, he's a big, strong guy. Like, one of the things Trayvon can do is he can actually throw offensive linemen around in the league. Like, he's strong enough to do those kind of things, but you need both hands in order to be able to pull that kind of thing off. Every time we have a Trayvon discussion, this comes up, right? It's the, when are they going to move him to defensive tackle? Why won't they let him rush more inside? All these kind of ideas with Trayvon pop up constantly. He was asked about how he feels he would impact the game, how much impact he could have if they made him an interior rusher.
I think I can have an impact wherever they put me. I don't care if they put me in the secondary. It's all about versatility in this league or whatever. But it's all about just being versatile, do whatever I need to do to help the team.
You love to hear that, right? But
Yeah.
I do think this
I
plays
don't think
into
he's
it.
catching a lot of people as a safety, but the guy he caught's going good night.
No doubt.
Right.
Look, if he gets you, your guy.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, in a big way. But I'm with you. Trayvon probably has a higher opinion of his coverage skills than we do. But just beyond that, the idea of playing inside, I know Liam Cohen's like, hey, he's an edge rusher. That's what we want to do. But now, if you are Trayvon, and the team says, hey, we came through the draft.
We need you here now.
Right. And we thought, if we found the right 3 technique, we were going to get that. But instead, man, we had Malachi Lawrence or Derek Moore, one of these edge rushers there. And it made more sense for us to go this direction because the way we graded that player. Trayvon, okay, it was hypothetical. Trayvon, you're in a contract year. You don't mind playing inside, right? And muting those pass rush stats because defensive tackles generally don't put up the same pass rush numbers. Now Trayvon's like, screw it, play me anywhere. Like, you blocked me in. You're paying me a fair price to be a good, but maybe not the best in the league edge rusher. And again, the top of the market's in the mid-40s right now in average annual value on the contract. And now you say, hey, Trayvon, we need you to play, 40% of the snaps inside. It might hurt your numbers, but that's already factored in. We've already paid you. We know how good of a player you are. I don't expect him to play, quote, 40%. I'm just pulling a random number out of the air. You know what I mean? But, there's not any of that, man, you're going to do this to me kind of thing. Where in the back of his mind, maybe he'd be willing to do it, but he might feel a certain kind of way about it. And then a year from now, he goes, okay, my numbers are this. Don't try to pay me on these numbers because you asked me to do something that you didn't draft me to do or that the organization didn't draft me to do. This now makes it a lot easier for him to go, whatever, man. However you think you could best utilize me, let's go.
It was a complicating factor 5 days ago. It's not today.
Yeah. And I'm not saying it would have kept him from re-signing here in the future, but it's a factor, right? And it could have been a stumbling block, or it could have created feelings one way or another. And Trayvon's the kind of guy that I don't think he can create a public stink, but he might simmer and go, man, they're having me, take on double teams all day, and of course I'm not going to have any sacks doing what I'm doing here. Or
it's tougher to get him in there,
or not the same amount at least. So I don't know if that played in for him. But me, that was one of the things I thought of here in terms of asking him to move around and use him as a chess piece potentially. How did he feel about the team feeling that they wanted to make a long-term commitment to him?
It really means a lot because, like you say, getting a new staff in, it's always that uncertainty. And coming into when they first got here, I feel like they did a great job of just communicating with me things, and that kind of already put in perspective to how that relationship was going to go. Sometimes you never really know how it's going to go, but ever since they've been there, I feel like we, on my end and their end, we've been transparent with each other, and we just have cordial conversation to where we can all just be comfortable. And that was one of Liam's main things, say what's on, speak your mind, and we'll go from there.
All right, so look, Trayvon's a good guy. We all acknowledge that, right? I'm not paying you $27.5 million to be a good guy, though. But when you are that guy, when you've previously expressed, I love it here. I hope I get to play my entire career in Jacksonville, and I really believe he means that. He's not a big city guy. He fits. He's a big fish in a smaller relative NFL pond that has a chance, that is well liked, well thought of, by his teammates, by his coaching staff, by the community. He's comfortable here. When you've got that, Tony, and he's got all the intangibles you want, I think it's easier to put, maybe if you had a guy with a bit of a prickly attitude with everything that Trayvon brings to the table, maybe you'd be trying to get him for $25 million a year or 22.5 or whatever the number, but you feel good because you feel this is a guy that no matter what number I put in front of him, it's not going to change it. He's going to go out there, and now instead of saying, I've made it, he's going to go, watch me prove to you how I can earn this money.
The Jaguars went through, and look, we talk a lot about draft history, especially this time of year as we're getting ready for the draft again. But the Jaguars went through such a long time where they would have first-round picks that even when you got to the end of their rookie deals, you were like, well, keep them or don't. What difference is it going to make?
Whatever.
And now you have a roster that has figured it out with Josh Hines-Allen, figured it out with Trevor Lawrence, and now figured it out with Travon Walker. Not only are they hitting more, when they've been in the position to hit at the top of it, but they're keeping these guys around. And there's an expression from the guys they're keeping around that I love it here. Why would I want to be anywhere else?
It's a great environment.
It's something that in Jaguars history, we just haven't seen much of this, right? There's been these kind of 3 phases where they've had a little bit of this. They had it early. They had it in that run from 05 to basically 08, right? And now they have it now. It just hasn't happened very often, but it feels like they're in the middle of one of those bubbles for the team and the franchise, and it's cool to see them work it out with some of these guys. It hadn't always worked out long-term. They worked out the deal with Tyson Campbell, but even when they worked that one out, we had the conversations about it. I was like, I don't know if I would have done this.
Yeah.
That's how I felt about that, even when they got it done. Now he's gone, right? They're not having to deal with that one anymore. The contract's not over their heads anymore as they go into this season, but I don't have any of those kind of questions about Josh or Trayvon or Trevor Lawrence. Like, they are guys that you should build the whole thing around, and I'm glad they're planning
And
to.
I think there are more coming in the pipe. They've already said, Brenton Strange, Parker Washington, that basically they're the next two to keep an eye out for. Anton's going to get his fifth-year option picked up, so we'll see where that goes. Cole Van Lannon got extended last year. I mean, Jacoby Myers wasn't a lifetime Jaguar, but he was an immediate fit. With what they were trying to do. They obviously will go out and
it's another example of a franchise that we haven't seen do business the right way very often. Feels like it's doing business the right way. Like just from an NFL perspective right now, the way that they're handling all these things, I've had basically no complaints. With Gladstone to this
that
point.
doesn't mean, by the way, that they're going to hit
It doesn't
a home
mean
run
they
every
won't
time.
make mistakes. But
Their arm is right now. You can look at it and go, there are a lot of draft picks we didn't get a whole lot out of last year. There were some veteran free agents that were a complete zero for this team last year. There are question marks. Was Cole Van Lannon worth the extension when he got it? And now the complicating factor is, when is he going to be available moving forward, right? I mean, there are reasons to question him. We're not just trying to be rubber stampers around here, but this is a deal. We and I have talked about this. We didn't know if it could get done because we didn't think one of the parties would agree to what the other would think would be the reasonable range on the deal at this time without 2026 playing out. All right, we got more from Trayvon coming up, including his head coach putting more demands on him, as he should. He's a $27.5 million man, and he's coming into his own at the age of 25. So can he be a guy that opposing offensive coordinators stay up nights worrying about? We'll discuss that and hear Trayvon's reaction to some of that stuff coming up on the other side. You're listening to Jaguars Today on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
Jaguars Today.
For the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios. 1010XL. Live streaming from the XL Digital Studios. Brightened by Harbor Dental Care. Jacksonville's first choice for dental emergencies.
When your home or business deserves more than ordinary glass, you trust the experts. Capital Glass and Shower Doors has been elevating spaces for over 40 years with precision, craftsmanship, and clean, modern design. From sleek frameless shower enclosures to elegant glass railings, wine cabinets, and any custom glass that makes a statement, Capital Glass delivers unmatched quality, service, and attention to detail. Your vision, their expertise. Capital Glass and Shower Doors at capcoglass.com.
Dreamfinders Homes Monday.
Jaguars Today.
Did you know your roof ages from the inside out? By the time you see a leak, damage already exists beneath the shingles. Sun exposure, humidity, and seasonal storms slowly weaken roofing materials over time. If your roof is 15 years old or more, then now's the time to start planning, not reacting. At Endless Summer Roofing, we provide professional inspections and clear guidance so you can make informed decisions. Visit EndlessSummerRoofing.com to schedule a free inspection. Endless Summer Roofing, protecting your home from Florida's endless summer.
Florida Heat doesn't play games, but some AC companies do. You've heard the too good to be true ads. Let's be honest. Nobody sends a licensed AC technician to your house for $25. Suddenly, your cheap tune-up turns into a $1,000 problem. At Duck Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic, and Air Conditioning, we believe in taking care of our customers. Right now, you can chill out for just $99. That gets you a full AC diagnostic and the truth about your system. No scare tactics. Call 904-862-6769 or duckduckrooter.com.
You love your land, and you have plans for it. During Kubota Orange Days, you'll love the great deals on their versatile, reliable lineup, helping you turn dream projects into reality. Visit your Kubota dealer today for the best deals of the year. Now through June 30th, 0 down and up to 84 months financing available. And save up to $3,500 off select compact tractors. Sale ends soon. Stop by your local dealer or go to gokubota.com. Coastal Equipment on New Kings Road and in McClenny.
If you are an experienced electrician looking for your next big opportunity, look no further than the Miller Electric Company, a trusted name in the industry for over 96 years. At Miller Electric, we tackle the biggest projects in the city, offering you the chance to showcase your skills on a grand scale. We believe in rewarding hard work with the best pay, top-notch benefits, and an unbeatable culture where people actually care about each other. Take your career to new heights with Miller Electric Company. Apply today at millercareers.com. Miller Electric, an equal opportunity employer.
Ever have one of those mornings when you're trying to piece together the night before? Yeah, we've all been there. Now imagine that morning turned into a comedy. Morning After Grace is on stage starting April 9th at the Alhambra Theater and Dining. And it's smart, funny, and totally relatable. A night out that's equal parts laughs and insight. Get your tickets at alhambrajax.com. Alhambra Theater and Dining. Great food, great laughs, and a show you won't forget.
Hey, it's Matt Hayes. Most things are easy when you're motivated. The question is, what happens when you're not? That's where Awaken 180 was different for me, Sneaky Joe, Bowerly, Beamer, and everyone else I know. Get motivated at awaken180weightloss.com.
New and pre-owned firearms are in stock at Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jacksonville Beach. Want a new sidearm or rifle? Brands like Kimber, Smith & Wesson, 6 Hour, Beretta. No lines, no hassle. Only at Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jacksonville Beach.
Daly's Dash is not only your Jaguars game day stop, but a great place to grab a meal any day of the week. To honor the Jags and the fans, we've crafted the Duval Sub. The Duval comes with freshly sliced turkey ham, melted cheddar and habanero jack cheese, topped with crisp lettuce, fresh tomatoes, and a double portion of our secret sauce, all served on a fresh roll. Come by your local's Daly's Dash today to get your delicious Duval Sub. Daly's is the official convenience store sponsor of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch. Jaguars Today on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
With my family, it was probably like 2-3 years ago. I was like, if I can, I definitely love to be in Jacksonville for the rest of my career. Look at God.
There you go. Clearly, you're not going to hear that from LeBron James, Tony. LeBron can't even stand spending an overnight in Memphis when they've got to play the Grizz because the nightlife is not. Hey, look, I get it. Jacksonville's nightlife does not compare to a lot of cities' nightlife.
No.
If that's what you're looking for, and I can understand certain young players would want that kind of environment. Trayvon's a young player. He doesn't seem to care, and that's fine.
Yeah.
And, there's plenty. Trayvon's more of a let me go doing a little fishing than let me go doing some clubbing.
Yeah.
And I think NFL teams would much prefer that as well. Not that, look, you're allowed. You're a young person. I hit the clubs. We all did. We all did our thing. Within reason, it's okay. As long as the main thing is the main thing, as they like to say, Tone. I don't know. I'm not going to worry too much about a one-night road trip on where I go. Like, folks who have to roll into Jacksonville from the West Coast and stay here on a Saturday. Tough. It's that time of year.
Yeah.
You earn all your money in 17, 18 weekends. So let's get back some more thoughts from Travon Walker. Liam Cohen recently has talked about impressing on him. Like, hey, Aaron Donald is a guy that would wreck the Rams practices. They had to take him out of practice.
Yeah.
Remember that story I told you years ago? I was in the locker room with Mike Sims Walker, whatever year this was, with the Jags. And we're just shooting the stuff, here and there. And Mike was a big-time high school player, and he played in some of those all-star games. And he had Ernie Sims, I think, as a teammate in like a Florida-Georgia all-star game coming out of high school. He's like, man, by like day 2, they took Ernie out of practice because he was handing out concussions like they were nothing. Like dudes were dropping, and he knew one speed, and he was crushing people. And they're like, we can't practice with this guy on the field. That's how Aaron Donald was at times in Los Angeles. Like, doesn't matter if he knows the game plan or not. We can't block him.
Yeah.
So we're not going to be able to execute in these scenarios. So
we got to get him off so we can work on the offense.
Right. Get a normal human being in there. And so Liam has talked about, don't let. This is what you need to strive for.
We need you to be that problem for us.
Strive for it. You're not going to be Aaron Donald. I'm sorry. You would have been Aaron Donald if you were going to be Aaron Donald, right? You don't just become Aaron Donald 5 years into the National Football League or have that kind of impact. But
I think Trayvon it's a particular kind of build, right, to a player.
Okay, in terms of physique.
Right. There are skills that he has that is really, really hard to find. Like the physical way he can play, it's really, really hard to find that. And I love that the head coach would go to him and say, I need you to be a problem for me. That's what I need from you every day. You have to be my problem. Trying to get my offense going is what are we going to do if Trayvon's going to keep doing this to us? You can do that. You're capable of that. That's what I want from you.
Here was his reaction, Travon Walker's, to Liam Cohen wanting him to be more dominant in the mold of an Aaron Donald.
Just pure dominance, man. It's just also it's helping everybody else on the team get better while it's helping me get better as well. Like I said, it's just pure dominance, and everybody that plays in this league wants to be great, wants to be. Hopefully, that's everybody's mindset to be great in the end, and I think that's really what he was getting to when he was speaking on that.
Again, he's got a long way to go to be that kind of an impact player. He does. He just does.
There are very few that have ever come in the league that have the impact that Aaron Donald did.
Correct. But at the same time, I do think the mindset is going to be, what can I do now to achieve this, to prove I'm worthy of this?
Yep.
There are guys, look, I probably look in the mirror, right? If I got $27.5 million, it was guaranteed, bro. I don't know what my reaction to that would be. That's probably why no one's ever going to give me $27.5 million. But you feel like Trayvon is going to continue to be nose to the grindstone. Whatever I can get out of what I've got is what I'm going to get.
Yeah, what does a new deal do for Travon Walker, too? Like, does it take any burden off him or off his mind, as opposed to going into a season knowing that was all in the future?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what do we do? Free agency, long-term deal, all that kind of thing he was asked about. Does it take a weight off his mind that the deal has gotten done and he doesn't have to worry about it?
No, I definitely say it takes some weight off of my mind. Not saying that I was really too concerned about it, because, eventually I know it was going to happen regardless of however much or whatever, but just, like, having it out of the way, the money part, all of the talks about the money, like, it's just time to go play ball now. I don't have to think about none of that. Like I said, it's just time to go play ball now.
Look, again, Trayvon played through injury last year where, I'm sure he could have said, hey, I can't be effective. I shouldn't be out there. He doesn't seem like this kind of guy, but it's human nature to wonder, Tony, if you get a twisted ankle in week 4 when you're playing on your 5th-year option, you have nothing guaranteed beyond the season.
Right.
Are you going to be going balls to the wall to get back out there the immediate first opportunity you can? Maybe not. I don't think you have to worry about it with this kind of guy. I don't think you probably didn't have to anyway, because you're paying him because he is that kind of guy in part.
Yeah, they just saw it.
Right, they've seen it, and they had that for a year here. Some takeaways as he wrapped up the season. What did he take away from his exit meeting with Liam Cohen?
Man, it's just like taking my game to another level. Obviously, he's seen Aaron Donald. He coached, he was on the team with Aaron Donald or whatever. So it just kind of helped put things in perspective for me to be able to just click it to a different type of mindset from how I was going throughout the year or whatever. And I feel like it really dawned on me that it's just time to ramp things up, take it to the next level.
Look, I heard that meeting went a couple hours. I don't know what a typical exit meeting is. I would assume 15, 20 minutes, right? Like, get in there. What are some of the things you achieved this year? What are some of the things you're going to need to work on this offseason? Here's how we see you going forward. Come back in minicamp and let's see if you've added a pass rush move, or let's see, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But now it's like 2 hours. Like, I feel like this meeting was kind of a linchpin of getting all this done, right? Like, if Liam Cohen emerges from that meeting with any questions about not only Trayvon's commitment, but does he have the ability to get to where you need him to be, then I don't know if we're talking about this extension being done a few weeks before the NFL draft.
Yeah, probably not. And I think it speaks well of, look, if the meeting is typically 5-10 minutes in and out, right? Like, this is what we need from you. This is what we're looking for.
Shorter.
Right, like that kind of thing. But I think it does speak to, one, their interest in Trayvon, right? Like, it speaks directly to that kind of thing. And it also speaks to, again, watching the process with the new minds inside the building, the way they deal with all these things. Like, I haven't heard anything from them yet that I'm like, why are they doing that? Like, just a 2-hour meeting with Travon Walker, it's like, cool. The head coach is just sitting there with him for 2 hours talking ball.
And not just talking, but like specifically impressing upon him, like, this is what you can be.
Right.
Man. You know,
there's nothing not to love about that.
Good season, end of the year. Thanks for playing hard for me, which I'm sure there's some of that in there as well. But RJ, you had a thought on this whole process.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask you guys, just how big is it for a team that did not draft Travon Walker? And I mean, when you get new regimes, I mean, I think the constant is always they want to bring in their own guys. And I think for the most part, they did with the free agent acquisitions that they got last year. But now you hear them talk about, listen, we want to get Travon Walker to an extension. They did that. Now next up on the table is Brenton Strange, and as well as Parker Washington. We also think Anton Harrison's going to be somewhere in there down the way here, probably next season. Just what does it mean to you guys to know that an organization who in a regime who didn't draft these players are saying these are the guys we want as a part of the foundation long term?
Well, it says a lot for these players, but it also says, here's the main thing it says to me. They won 13 games. If they had come in last year and won 6, or 7, and they'd step in the right direction, I think it would be taking a lot harder look at a lot of these guys, but they came in and performed for them in that circumstance, man. And yeah, you'd like to be able to draft all your guys, but they know, look, why throw out mid-20s players? Trayvon's so damn young, right? Trevor's so young. These guys are younger than guys who are still coming in the league right now. So to me, it just says that they're not stupid, right? I mean,
we didn't draft him. That doesn't mean they're not our guys.
You got proven performance in your system, and you got a year to be around them and find out what they're all about. And now you're rewarding the guys that you have recognized it. But I don't think for a second, if this team had just won like 6 or 7 games last year, that we'd be talking, would they have rewarded Jacoby Myers immediately? Like, would they have even made that trade if they were like 2-6?
Yeah.
Who knows? So the fact that they were able to win, I think they recognize, man, you got to keep this momentum going, and you got to keep who you feel are your core together, whether you drafted them or not. It seems like common sense, but you're right, RJ. There's probably GMs that are more concerned with making sure that they're rewarding the guys they selected over anything else, or at least prioritizing that a little bit more.
I think that's why Tyson got the deal he got. But, it just felt like it was a year before they had to do it with him. And we've had all indications, even going into this offseason, that they're pushing. They're pushing hard, going into year 2 of whatever all of this is going to be. And we've got no indication at all that they even know where the brakes are on the car, right? Like, everything is forward motion, it seems like, for the franchise right now, despite them having a 13-win season. Like,
within
they're just
reason.
Right. Like, it's just go. Like, they're limited by the money they had available to them in free agency. So they didn't do a whole lot of work in that regard. But they've also, very clearly, with getting the Trayvon deal done, we talked about the Van Lanen deal. Like, we've talked about the deals they got done during the season last year with Jacoby. That's their free agency. This year was keeping those guys around, was we didn't have to worry about those kind of issues. Well, they just got it done with Trayvon. That's free agency, kind of in my mind.
Brown's free agency.
Right, like it's that kind of, they're holding on to the things that it felt like it was important for them to hold on to. We'll see what it looks like with Strange and Washington and what that's going to be.
Right, it's not free agency so much with Trayvon this year as it is next year.
It's a problem next year to have to deal with it.
That's no
done.
longer a problem.
Yeah.
Like, if they didn't get a deal done and his contract's up, okay, we can always franchise tag him. Do you want to know what the average of the top 5 guys at that position is? It starts with a 4.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you'd average in the 40s.
A high 3 at least.
And then once you get that, you're not signing a deal for $27.5 million a year. You're not going backwards with the same organization. So anyway, your reaction to that, welcome. If you want to get in, we got to take a timeout here at 641-1010, the easiest way to get on board Jaguars Today here on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Jaguars
Today.
From the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios of 1010XL.
Hello, you're on the air.
There's more to 1010XL than radio.
1010XL is multimedia. All communication lines are clear.
Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. Find 1010XL on your social channels.
Longer days, warmer nights, and a backyard that brings everyone together. Spring and summer in Florida means pool days, backyard barbecues, and night swims under the stars. Picket here. For nearly 50 years, Surfside Pools have been creating the backdrops for life's best memories. From weekly service and repairs to remodels, commercial maintenance, and new pool construction, Surfside does it all. Ready to float happy? SurfsidePools.net or call 904-246-2666. Surfside Pools. Summer starts here. License number CPC 044080.
It's a Dreamfinders Homes Monday.
Official home builder of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Get a healthy start in 2026. The Florida Department of Health in Duval County is here to help you get healthy and stay healthy all year long. Our dedicated team is committed to providing high-quality care and trusted public health services for our community. Our mission is simple: to protect, promote, and improve the health of you and your family. Learn more about our programs and services by visiting duval.floridahealth.gov.
If you've been searching for answers to your quarterback questions, he's the lighthouse to guide you home.
I'm Denny Thompson, and they call me the quarterback whisperer.
He shares his insights Friday mornings on The Drill. Wrapped up by George Moore Chevrolet on 1010XL.
Tired of changing out bad sod year after year? Get it done right with Roundtree Sod. Big or small, they have it, and always supplied farm fresh. For a lush, legendary green lawn, call 7414-SOD for a free estimate. 7414-SOD.
Firehouse Subs is adding a new heavy hitter to the roster, the Chicken and Cheddar Rancher. Grilled chicken, melted cheddar, crispy bacon stacked high with fresh toppings, and creamy buttermilk ranch. The Chicken and Cheddar Rancher, only at Firehouse Subs.
Do you want to grow your career with a company that's committed to growing with you? Florida Home AC has aggressive plans to double their workforce, and they're looking for determined, resourceful people with initiative. Just log on to floridahomeac.com/careers to find out more.
SportsForecaster.com has all the data you need to project tomorrow's winners. Register for free and track the performance of all your favorite players and teams, including all your fantasy team picks and prospects. Sports Forecaster has the most detailed player profiles on the web, precise depth charts, every transaction, every injury, every news update. No ranting or raving, no preening or barstool bluster. At SportsForecaster.com, you get the timely info you need for every game. SportsForecaster.com. Sign up for free today.
The Golf Club of Southampton is gearing up for brand new greens and a lot more. And now's your chance to save on membership before the fee increase. Take advantage of a $1,000 savings if you join before the work starts in late April and before the initiation fee goes up. It's a great deal, plus $500 additionally in Pro Shop credit. Don't miss out. All the details are at golfsouthampton.com. Become a member now and save big. The course is in great shape, so head on out to the Golf Club of Southampton. Call 287-PLAY and get on the tee.
La playa is Spanish for the beach. If you can't remember that, the word Corona also works. Corona, La playa awaits.
PGA Tour star Ricky Fowler.
If you want to be the best, you have to practice with the best. That's why I had Southwest Greens install and maintain my putting green, and my synthetic lawn, and my chipping area, and my practice bunker area, and my bocce ball court, and our pole vaulting area.
Southwest Greens is the world's premier manufacturer and installer of putting greens, synthetic grass, chipping areas, practice bunkers, and just about anything else you want to do in your yard.
It's Southwest Greens.
Log on to southwestgreensofjacksonville.com to see what they can do to your backyard.
Hey, Hicken here. I couldn't be any happier than to join the George Moore Chevrolet family. When I say family, I mean it. Visit their beautiful showroom today off Atlantic Boulevard. Find out exactly what I'm talking about. No pressure, just friendly help. And whether you want a car, a truck, SUV, electric, pre-owned, you name it, George Moore Chevrolet has it. And if you can't make it over to Atlantic Boulevard, no problem. MooreChevy.com is easy to navigate as any site you will try. It's never been more easy to use. George Moore Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah. Everything you need to know about the Jags. Jaguars Today on 1010XL.
All right, man. This is a weird kind of week for me, Tony. I don't know if I've ever had a one-day work week before, but, just trying to get a little vacation in before the NFL draft, got some things to take care of, and I'd taken a day off earlier this year, and so I'm taking the rest of the week after today, and when I saw Trayvon got his deal on Friday, I was like, yeah, baby. Gonna be the easiest work week of all time. Who knows, though? But maybe tomorrow you'll be talking about Brenton Strange and or Parker Washington.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Getting deals done. It would not surprise me at all if both of them got done now before the NFL draft.
Yeah, then me and Jamal get to have all the fun.
Yeah, why not? Is he in with you the rest of the week?
No, it'll be Jamal tomorrow. Shipley's coming in on Wednesday with me.
All right.
Thursday, D-Rock is coming in.
Okay.
And then Friday with Tommy Mack.
There you go. You get a wide variety of Jaguars Today co-hosts this week. Appreciate all those guys hopping in my stead. 641-1010. We go to the Key Buick GMC phone lines for the first time this morning. Stephen Melbourne up first on the Travon Walker front. Steve, good morning.
Hey, good morning, guys. I was super excited to hear this weekend about it. I think he's a great, solid player. I know he hasn't had the sack numbers to show that, but he's done something every year that I've liked, and he's gotten better every year. I think the injuries hampered him last year, but they're paying for a player that has gotten better and improved every single year, and I'm happy for him. It was you brought it up earlier, Mike. It was Christian Miller, the defensive tackle out of Georgia. They were on.
That's who it was. Yes.
NFL Live with.
Yes.
When the news came out, and he was super excited. I saw Josh on X. He was super excited, and I hope Parker and Brenton get done, like you said, hopefully before the season done. And then, I mean, if Antonio plays like he did last year again, I could see him getting a contract as well, even a tag, because I know the safety, tag ain't nowhere near a wide receiver or even maybe a tight end franchise tag. But I'm real happy for him.
All right, man. Appreciate it, Steve. And yeah, we talked about it when we did the 5 guys we thought were most likely to get extensions or extension eligible guys that topped the list. It was Trayvon, it was Brenton, it was Parker, it was Antona, and it was Antonio. Those are the guys for sure. And they said they were working on Trayvon. They're working on Brenton and Parker. Well, Trayvon, bing, it's done. I mean, these guys, they're not just going, oh, you know what? Here's an idea. Why don't we see if we can get Parker Washington's agent on the line? A lot of groundwork has been laid. They work in silence. They announce their end game, and there you go. And I honestly, by the time the season starts, by the time training camp starts, I'd be honestly really surprised. I guess I can't say shocked because I don't know what's inside James Gladstone's mind, but I would not at all be surprised if they both get done before the draft. I would be very surprised if they didn't get done before training camp.
Yeah, I think we all get really caught up in the sack number, right? Because that's the big
and it's important
number. It's an important number, but if you look at across the league, and I just went back to every season back to 2019, and in a typical NFL season across the entire league, you typically wind up with around 15 guys who get to 10.
Okay.
Right, across the whole league. Some years it goes up to around 19 or 20, but it's very rarely beyond that. Like if you're a guy who's playing in the double-digit sack kind of area, you're among the top 20 sackers in a given year.
Yes.
Right? And I do think Trayvon's game is a lot more than that. Right? Like his value is a lot more than just the sack number. But as I've talked about the whole time with Trayvon, I don't necessarily expect him to be the 15 sack guy. Like I look at Trayvon and think that he is likely an 8 to 10 sack guy. Like I think that's kind of where he's going to live in his career. But he gives you so much more than that. That if he is a guy on the years where he is playing among the top 20 sackers in the league and giving you everything else he gives you, like this number is obviously well within the reasonable bounds of what he would be worth to an NFL team. But I do think it gets, he started that call with that maybe he's not giving me what I want as a sacker. And I'm like, compared to what?
Well,
right?
I mean,
like compared to his colleagues in the league, back-to-back double-digit sack seasons is nothing to sneeze at.
But if you compare him to the guy who was taken right after him, which he'll always be compared to.
He will be.
He's not getting the sacks.
He's not Aiden. He's not getting the money Aiden's getting.
No, he's not. Right. But if you, I don't think it's unreasonable. If you're paying Trayvon $27.5 a year to say, okay, you need to start living in that 10 sack range, Joe. 10 sacks plus everything else you do. Maybe sometime in the next 5 years, you'll have that 15-plus sack season. But you need to consistently be around that low double-digit mark and additionally have the flexibility to play up and down the line, be able to play the run as well as you do, be a great locker room presence, still be super athletic at the age of 25 to accomplish all this stuff.
It's more I think we get it in our heads, like in fans do too. Like I can understand it. You get it in your head. Well, if the guy's not a 15 sack guy, then what's he worth? And it's like, well
if he was a 15 sack guy, you'd find out what he's worth, and it would start with a 4.
There's just very few guys that even live in that, like TJ Watt, there's 3 guys in the league who kind of live around that number, right? And they're the ones who set the market for everybody else when it comes to these kind of things. The conversation we had to start the show today was Trayvon, if he had another double-digit sack season this year before, it's like, what is the number going to be?
If he got 10 this year, I think he would have gotten 35 a year.
Right. Like he's going to be somewhere around the guys that are kind of setting the market if he had 3 double-digit sack seasons in 4 years. Now, that may be the top of what I think he does, right, is being that 8 to 10 sack, that guy, like living right at 10. in his career would be that guy. But if he did it 3 of the 4 years going into the contract negotiation, the money's going to be what the money is. That's kind of I see the deal they got with him. I go, that's really good.
Yeah. Right. Now, then again, if he goes out and has 3.5 sacks this year, there are going to be people going, you should have waited.
Barring an injury causing
right.
it, yeah.
And that's the thing. You can't know exactly what he's going to do. You're trying to make an educated, calculated gamble on future production. Andy and Palatka, next up here on Jaguars Today. Good morning, Andy.
Hey, good morning. I think it's a pretty good deal for the Jags and for Trayvon. I really thought he was going to have a better year than Hines Allen this year, but he got hurt. But not just his sack total, but he's kind of a game wrecker. I mean, he gets behind the line and has a lot of tackles for yards for loss. On the running backs, he had that one big play on third down. I can't remember which game, but I think they're doing like they did with Trevor. They're thinking with the coaching we got that he'll come around and he'll be a much better player.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that, Andy. I think that showed up for a lot of guys last year, and granted, the 3.5 doesn't point to a breakout pass rush campaign, but he only started 12 games because of injury. He did play in 14 games last year, so he missed time, wasn't 100% in the time, and so that's part of the calculation. They know how much that hand limited him. They were there every day in practice, so they know what they could have expected out of him completely healthy. We'll find out. I think it's, our standpoint, great gamble for the team. I don't even think it's a gamble based on the market as far as that goes. Now, could it completely collapse? Sure. But any player you could point to and say, well, he got paid, he's going to give you nothing now. I don't suspect that we're going to have that issue at all with Travon Walker due to attitude or effort, certainly. And he's got the ability, hopefully, to back it up with bigger seasons ahead. All right, hour 2 on the way. We will shift it over to a little bit to Mock Draft Monday. If you want to get in on the Trayvon front, we welcome your calls at 641-1010 on the Key Buick GMC phone lines on Jaguars Today on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
Jaguars Today. You're at the home of the Jaguars in the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios. Superior products, exceptional service.
When the game's on the line against a huge rival and my first ever SEC game, my teammates and my coaches, they were willing to put it in my hands in that moment. That meant the world to me.
I'm Tim Tebow on 1010XL.
Ready to dance? Right now on Hard Rock Bet, new customers get paid double winnings on your first 10 bets. And we'll keep you dancing all tourney with 2 profit boosts for every day of hoops. That's right. All customers can get a parlay profit boost and a live bet profit boost from now till they cut down the nets. Double winnings, daily dancing boosts, only on Hard Rock Bet.
Offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida, must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned about your gambling? Call or text 1-833-PLAY-WISE.
Jaguars Today.
It's a Dream Finders Homes Monday.
At Trinity Christian Academy, they believe every student is made for more. Their challenging curriculum, personal guidance, and more than 90% university acceptance rate help students graduate ready for what's ahead, academically, spiritually, and personally. If you're looking for a school that sees your child's full potential, TCA is ready to partner with your family. Apply at tcajax.org. tcajax.org.
If your ride is making strange noises, don't wait and make it work. Come to Action Transmission on Merrill Road. My expert technicians can diagnose the problem and likely fix it fast. Experience the difference at Action Transmission on Merrill Road.
The flagship station of the Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
So, you finally have some time to yourself. Even if it is just the car ride home, it's you time. And look at you. Do not disturb set before you even got in the car? Impressive. You've earned this moment to just chill and drive. This break is brought to you by Target Zero and the Florida Department of Transportation.
Hey Jacksonville, it's Fred Taylor. If you've been in an auto accident, you need a team who knows how to get you back on your feet and back to your life. At North Florida Medical Center, they don't just treat the injury, they treat the whole person, from physical therapy to pain management. North Florida Medical Center has a team of experts ready to help you heal and recover. I trust the team here at North Florida Medical Center, and you can too. So don't wait. Call North Florida Medical Center and get the care you deserve.
Hicken here. Beat the spring cleaning rush and call Zero Res. This month, get 20% off hard floor cleaning and get 3 rooms of carpet clean starting at just $135. Visit ZeroResJacksonville.com.
Zero Res.
I'm Frank Franzi, and I just got back from the farm at Okefenokee in Folkestone. Man, was I impressed. You have to see these handcrafted cabins. But act fast. On this 1,000-acre farm, there will only be 250 cabins. Each phase has jumped in value, so come get your lot and lock in your equity. Enjoy living in harmony with nature, going to the grocery store in your own backyard, and connecting with people grounded in food and purpose. Learn more at okefarm.com. That's okefarm.com.
Roland, 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 we're all calling Roland. The toilet's overflowing, oh my.
When you've got a leak and can't wait a week, call Roland Reese Plumbing, 260-7059.
Lifetime Flooring.
Jeff Breyer and Zach Breyer here with the Lifetime family of companies. Looking to revitalize and fall in love with your home again?
At Lifetime Flooring, our family-owned team brings you top-quality flooring and bath remodels with the professionalism that big box stores can't touch.
And Lifetime Enclosures will help you design and build what will become your favorite room in your home.
This Easter, everybody will want to hop on over.
Absolutely. So visit our websites or one of our showrooms today to experience the Lifetime difference and ask about our Easter specials.
Lifetime Flooring.
Hey, David again with Royal Pest Services. Termites, chinch bugs, roaches. It's their time of year to shine. Preventative maintenance is a heck of a lot cheaper than treating an active infestation. Visit RoyalPestServices.com to schedule your free estimate.
Here's your 1010XL local sports update, sponsored by TopDressing.com. UNF powered past Queens 10-6, taking their 4th straight A-Sun series behind a 4-run 6 and big days from Farner, Collins, and Gomez. Charles Jordan buried the overtime winner as the Icemen edged Florida 2-1, snapping the home skid and keeping Jacksonville's playoff push alive. That's your 1010XL local sports update. I'm Sam Nelson.
Right now, 71 degrees at 11:06. Time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still, present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch. Everything you need to know about the Jags. Jaguars Today on 1010XL.
All right, got a lot to squeeze in here in hour number 2. Chad Ryder over at NFL.com's got a new 5-round mock draft out there, and we rarely dip below pick 100, so we'll do that with Chad coming up here. We've got our own Mock Draft Monday offerings on the way, but before we get to any of that, Tony Smith going to take us around the National Football League.
Now, Gems Around the NFL, brought to you by Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jax Beach.
On Friday afternoon, the league announced that it had completed its own investigation into Kansas City wide receiver Rashee Rice, stating that he is not engaged in conduct that violates the personal conduct policy. The NFL also said its investigation into the accusations from Dakota Jones, Rice's former girlfriend, are closed. This means that Rice will not be facing any discipline from the league for those incidents. Baltimore begins their offseason program today because they have a new head coach. The other 9 teams with new head coaches begin their programs tomorrow. Tennessee, Arizona, Atlanta, Buffalo, Cleveland, Las Vegas, Miami, Pittsburgh, and the New York Giants. Jacksonville's first day is 2 weeks from today on April 20th.
2 weeks from today. How about that? NFL draft rapidly approaching. We're 2.5 weeks out from that as well. So with that, we've been knocking out a mock draft every Monday, at least one along the way. We went with the consensus rankings this week over at Pro Football Network, which
they don't like Malachi Lawrence.
Yeah, it's weird, right? Because if you just go on the Pro Football Network rankings, Malachi Lawrence is off the board in the first 40 picks in almost every one of these mocks, and now all of a sudden he's there for us. I took him because I see him mocked at just about every site higher than he is here. Now, he is a smaller guy. He's not that, I did a mock as well. I did several this weekend, just messing around. Gabe Jacob, however you say that, the Illinois guy, right? He is more that 275-pound big end run stuffer, whereas I feel like Malachi Lawrence is more of a pure,
he's an edge,
sub-package edge rusher, at least in a 4-3 defense.
Yeah, and really, the Lawrence thing popped when he went to the combine and athletically tested off the charts, right? Like, that's what happened with Malachi Lawrence. You can go and look, 6'4", 253, ran a 4.5, 240 with a 40-inch vertical, right, with that size. Like, he's just an athletic monster. Now, the numbers at UCF, it's not like they were all that eye-popping, from that perspective, but the athlete jumps off the page. And we know the NFL, more often than not, takes a chance on the athletic testing with some of these guys.
But he's not Shamar Stewart, who had no productivity. He's been like a consistent 7.5 sack guy.
Somewhere in that. And I know I made note of the other guys that were kind of in consideration for me. Like I along with you, went the Malachi Lawrence route, to start this mock draft. But the other guys who were there when I took him that I was thinking about, I took Lawrence. Lee Hunter was still there. Anthony Hill Jr., Jake Golday at linebacker, and Derek Moore. And I will say, like, among those names, Derek Moore is probably the one that tempted me the most to go off the Malachi pick, but I wound up going with Malachi. And I don't think Malachi's going to be there when they're picking at 56. I think that's unlikely. And I think Derek Moore is really high on my list of guys that I like at 56 to the Jags, especially in light of the news with them getting the deal done with Trayvon. Because if they can push Trayvon in a little bit more, I like the idea of Derek Moore, who is more the end. Like, he's just an end, a guy that he can still help you in the run game. He's not just pure pass rush coming in. I'm not sure if that's quite what they need long term, right? I think for 1 year it makes sense that the need is third edge guy, but I'm not sure if that's the need in 28.
Yeah.
I think long-term, I think Derek Moore might be the better player for the team.
He might be. And, I think it was a similar group of players that were available when I was there. Once I saw Lawrence, though, I know how infrequently he's available. And I thought, well, let's see how it would look if I went that direction. Obviously, you did as well. RJ, who'd you score at 56?
At 56, I went cornerback, D'Angelo Pons, cornerback from Indiana. I got a C grade on this one.
Got a C. Yeah, Malachi Lawrence got us a C+. By the way, which, again, surprising based on when you just draft, I guess off the consensus rankings is different, but when you just draft off Pro Football Network, he is long gone. And so, ironically, the guy that RJ has been trying to squeeze into every mock, Tony and I both got, but you went D'Angelo Pons here. So, corner, where do you rank corner among the Jags' bigger issues?
I don't think you need to use like the first pick to do so. However, I just do think that until you figure out what you're actually going to be doing with Travis Hunter, I would look at corner. But the problem with this one is from what Lance Zierlein is writing and from what others are writing, they more see him as a nickel. I do understand that we've had conversations about how long do we think Jordan Lewis will still be here, and do we equate that to 1 year, 2 year? We don't know what that is, but I do think you can kind of, still have an opportunity to solidify that position if you so choose to. And it just seems to me that they do believe that this guy is just very disciplined at what he does, and I like the numbers in which I saw from this guy. So D'Angelo Pons, I said I'll take a chance on.
Yeah, 56 is early for me, but I do think they'll draft probably multiple corners. Now, again, if they end up with 7 picks, then maybe not, right? Like, depends if they're packaging picks together. But right now, starting with 11, which is the second biggest total, I think 12. Some team, one or two teams might have 12 in this draft.
I think corner is really complicated to try to figure out for the team. I don't expect their defensive coordinator to be here beyond this year necessarily, so I don't even know what the scheme is going to be a year from now for the football team. I'm not sure a year from now if the bigger need's going to be at the outside corner or on the interior of that. Like, I'm not even sure where the bigger need will be for the football team going into next season. I'm not sure what the scheme's going to be going into next year. I think corner is a position that you're very rarely going to go through a draft and not take 1 or 2. Right?
Yeah.
Like, it's just one of these where you deal with it. But I think trying to predict how they want to deal with it is a really difficult question to try to figure out at this point.
But you could say that about every position on defense, right? And we don't know that Anthony Campanelli is going to get a head coaching job this year. What if the team is good, but they're fifth in run defense. They improve a little bit in sacks, and they win 11 games instead of 13. Is he as buzzy this
but I
year?
think, like from corner specifically, we know they're running a concept right now that it's much more zone than it is man. That's really difficult to figure out what the future of that's going to look like. I think big bodies, it's a little bit easier.
Right, but they can't sit there and go, well, we might switch to a man defense next year. We can't add corners.
It's more of my perspective on trying to predict what they might do at corner. Right, like I'm kind of lost in the weeds trying to predict what the Jaguars want to do with the position. Not that I don't think they're going to address it. I think they will, and I think it's in play at 56 if the right guy is there. I'm just not sure who that would be.
And do they think a guy like Matthew Arajo, who was signed this offseason to the coaching staff, his defensive passing game coordinator, came in from Miami? A lot of people immediately around the league would talk about that's a guy who may be a down the road kind of replacement candidate,
so the in-house replacement.
And if that's the case, then you kind of know what direction the overall defense is going to go. But again, I'm with you. I think they will draft corner once, maybe a couple of times, maybe one of those first 4 picks for sure, or maybe a couple of later ones. I don't know how they'll do it. They've got a lot of needs, so I don't think I'm not going to blink because RJ picked a corner at 56. It's probably not what I would choose to do, but I can't put it past the Jaguars.
I usually have one in the 4 when we're doing this on Monday. I usually have one.
I don't because I find there are enough guys of interest to me that at other positions with, like you said, the big body types, whatever. All right, so you and I both did Malachi Lawrence. D'Angelo Ponds for RJ will come back. We'll give you the other 3 selections we went, as we always go through 3 rounds of drafting on these mock draft Mondays. So who the Jags take at 81, 88, and 100, plus Chad Ryder's 5-round mock offering as we're 2.5 weeks out from the NFL draft. You want to weigh in on Travon Walker? You're welcome to do that as well. This is Jaguars Today on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Jaguars Today.
From the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios of 1010XL.
It's tough stuff. And when you lose, it all comes down on you.
1010XL.
When you put it all together and you win, it's the greatest feeling in the world. It's like winning the Super Bowl.
Always in pursuit of greatness.
Spring is here. Is your yard ready? Lucas Tree Service, a family-owned business with over 45 years of experience, is Jacksonville's certified arborist for safe tree removal, trimming, and stump grinding for homes and businesses. Protect your property, boost your curb appeal, and enjoy expert service you can trust. Keep your trees healthy and safe before summer arrives. Schedule your inspection today at lucastreeservice.com.
Dreamfinders Homes, Monday.
On Jaguars Today.
Spring is here. Time to get your lawn ready before summer heat and bugs set in. Prosser here for Julington Creek Pest Control. They offer preventative chinch bug treatments, pre-emergent weed control, and granular fertilization, all with no contracts. This helps prevent problems before damage occurs, keeping lawns thicker, greener, and stronger. Call today to schedule your spring treatment. Julington Creek Pest Control. Our family serving yours since 1984.
Homeowners, ready to open your home to spring and shut out high energy bills? It's the 1-month only sale with Renewal by Anderson. Right now, buy one, get one 40% off windows and doors. Plus, 0 down, no payments, and no interest for 12 months. But this offer expires April 30th. Renewal by Anderson, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Visit bestwindowsflorida.com to schedule your free consultation.
License number CGC 1527613.
Don't miss the Bari Breakdown with Dr. George Bari on XL Primetime, Wednesdays around 1:35 for the latest in sports injuries from all the big names in the game. Who's MIA, who's coming back? Dr. George Bari on XL Primetime, Wednesdays at 1:35 on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Not everyone is built for a cubicle. At Local 234, apprentices get paid to learn hands-on skills like plumbing, pipe fitting, HVAC, the stuff Jacksonville runs on. No endless lectures, no massive student debt, just hands-on training, real jobs, and real pay. This is how you level up, by doing work that actually matters. Check them out at UA234.com. Proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Local 234. Make the right connection.
Got a dent or a scratch that needs fixing? San Jose Collision in Mandarin offers expert auto body repair and works with all insurance. Family owned and locally trusted. San Jose Collision in Mandarin.
Checkmate. I'm Brendan Cecilia, founder of Checkmate Coatings.
And I'm Chester, the Checkmate chess man.
At most companies, people start on the ground floor and work their way up to the corner office. At Checkmate, I started on the ground floor, and almost 20 years in, that's still where I am, making ground floors look awesome, one garage at a time.
Well, I started as a pawn and worked my way up to king.
No, you didn't. Some guy drew you as a king. I asked them to give you a roller, so at least you'd look like one of the guys.
Yes, I rather would have preferred a sword.
At Checkmate, I work personally with our teams to perfect the preparation and application techniques that make Checkmate floors beautiful and durable.
And I keep things classy with my adorable accent.
Beautiful floors?
Check. Guaranteed to last?
Check. The finishing touch your home deserves? Checkmate.
Transforming your floors, making them great. Checkmate.
Visit checkmatecoatings.com.
Sports fans, Max Fink here with 1010XL, and when I wanted to send flowers, the advice came fast. Use Kuhn flowers, they all said. Kuhn can handle anything for any situation. Well, I took that good advice. Kuhn flowers made it happen for me. KuhnFlowers.com.
Ready to put your dream car in drive? Get solid rates for the road ahead when you finance with First Florida Credit Union. Enjoy competitive low rates, up to 90 days of no payments, and budget-friendly protection plans. Whether you're buying a vehicle or refinancing, stop by a branch or apply online at firstflorida.org/autoloans. Membership eligibility required. Interest accrues during loan payment deferral period. Federally insured by NCUA. Visit firstflorida.org/autoloans.
1010XL, presented by Farrah & Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farrah doesn't flinch. Everything you need to know about the Jags. Jaguars Today on 1010XL.
All right, we keep motoring along. Travon Walker got paid in a big way. Is Brenton Strange and or Parker Washington next before the NFL draft? What would you put? 50% greater likelihood that they'll get done before the draft, or less than 50%?
I'd probably put it less than 50%, just because generally that's how these things work.
I'm going to put it over.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just feel like there's a team that hasn't had a lot of time to waste on outside free agency because they didn't have the money to spend, and they prioritize themselves kind of in-house a little bit. Maybe it's just wishful thinking. I think at minimum one, I think we're going to see both of these guys get done in quick order, and that's no inside knowledge of that, just reading what they've said and how they've reacted, and I don't think they just put it this way, when they say something like that, there's teeth to it, right? We're working with Trayvon. We might get this done. We're working with Brent. We're working with Parker. They're not blowing smoke. They're working towards getting these deals done sooner rather than later. I would be shocked at this point if they're not done before the start of the season. I would expect them to be done fully by training camp, but really right now I think it's a little bit more likely than not that we'll see at least one done in the next couple of weeks, and it wouldn't surprise me if they're both done this week in pretty rapid-fire succession. Who knows? We'll see. Tony will be here to chronicle that. As I mentioned, I'm out rest of the week, but we've got, Jamal St. Cyr tomorrow, John Shipley on Wednesday, D-Rock on Thursday, Tom McManus in with you on Friday, so a lot to get to. All right, let's get to, I'm sorry, did you?
No, that's it.
Let's get to pick 81. Tone, who you got in your mock draft this week? Malachi Lawrence at 56. Who's next?
Yeah, at 81, I went defensive tackle Grayson Halton out of Oklahoma. 6'3", 293, 4'8", 240, 36.5-inch vertical. We've talked about him a lot, right? He's kind of that undersized 3 technique, probably adds a little bit of punch as an interior rusher. It feels like early in his career, that's what he'd be asked to do, is basically come in as an inside guy on passing downs, right? And that's where his impact would be. So I don't think drafting him necessarily takes a bigger body out of the conversation on the interior of the defensive line in the draft for the Jaguars, but I think he does give you something that it feels like they are sorely missing, which is real legitimate pass rush potentially from the inside of that defensive line.
Yeah, I was messing around with one where I got Caleb Banks at 56, and then Grayson Halton came back to me in the 8, and I was like, what does this look like? I don't think they're going to get, I could see if you had a true nose and then you took a Grayson Holton to go with him, I could see that combination, or a True Nose and Caleb Banks, but not three technique guys both. What do you got, RJ, at pick 81?
Keelan Rutledge, offensive guard out of Georgia Tech. Again, I'm selecting this guy just due to the fact that we're saying, look at Ezra Cleveland, also look at Patrick McCary. Do we see them here past 1 year, maybe two? I also do believe that, do they know what they want to do since giving Covan Landon that money? I would assume that's going to be tackle money. Do they know what they're going to do yet with Wyatt Milam in terms of, is he going to be on the inside? Because then it seems you have your two bookends. So, I just feel like now you're starting to need to answer questions just along the offensive line as who's going to be where. And I like what Rutledge is able to do at his size. They say that he's really good in, the pass game and the rush game. He brings energy and zeal to, on a down-to-down basis. So I think that's a guy that you can have there and you can develop. And then once you kind of answer the questions, once it's maybe the middle of the season, towards the end of the season, as to what you're going to do with Cleveland and McCary, I think this is a guy you can plug and play.
I like Rutledge a lot, right? Like, I think I had him in my mock last week with the Jags, and I think he's one of the offensive linemen that I do have kind of in my sight for the Jaguars. I think that it's not unlikely that they can't address the position until we get to day 3 of the draft, just given how the draft is going to unfold. But I think Rutledge is one of the guys that if I was making a decision, he would be on my short list at 56 of guys that I'm at least thinking about, if I'm going to address the offensive line at some point on day 2 of the NFL draft.
Yeah, look, you're not going to go broke selecting good offensive line, right? As long as they are good offensive linemen. So I have no issue going.
Yeah, 2-time All-American interior lineman is, at least worth notice.
Absolutely. I went kind of, I guess, my luxury pick of the 4. I went with Max Clare, the tight end out of Ohio State. I don't think I've gone a tight end since like our very first mock draft that we've done, but there are a couple that I would consider, and he was among them,
right?
Because he is already pretty polished as an offensive pass catcher. He's got the size, he's got the willingness and the ability to be a blocker and room to grow in there as well. But he's not just a finesse tight end coming in looking to catch a bunch of passes and, kind of tipping your hand to defensive coordinators what you're going to do when that guy's on the field. I think he can be in the mold. You're not going to find many tight ends who are capable receivers that can be as physical as Brenton Strange, period. You're just not.
Yeah.
But you can find somebody who is relatively physical that gives you a lot better pass catching chops than they currently have on this roster.
Yeah, I think Brenton Strange's rookie year made us forget he's a second-round pick.
Yeah.
Right, like that he was worth that kind of draft profile, that he was a second-round pick that year. His rookie year, he gave you nothing, right? And then his second year, he gave you a little bit. And last year, the Jags basically said, look, we can feature this guy. We don't even need Evan Ingram. We like this guy. Right, as our feature tight end. And then you saw it. Now he's beating guys up, on the line of scrimmage as a blocker and doing all those things.
All right, give me your last 2 picks. We got to run through these here before we run out of time, Tony. 88 and 100.
Yeah, 88 went with wide receiver Malachi Fields out of Notre Dame, 6'4.5", 218, big body guy, contested catch guy is what he would be at that point in the draft. And then at 100, cornerback Malik Muhammad, Texas, 6 foot, 182, competitive, better as a zone cover corner, again, to that conversation we were just having, rather than a man-to-man, which makes sense given that you see the size limitations he has at 6 foot, 182.
Okay, RJ?
For me, my next pick was Kyle Lewis out of Pittsburgh. I think he's going to be just a special guy once he gets to the league, measurables aside. And then for me, with my final pick, tight end out of Baylor, Michael Trigg. Now, he's not a guy who is necessarily known for his blocking prowess, so I think that's going to limit him in terms of what sets you're able to put him in. But here's a guy who's 6'4". I think you figure out and you solve just your 6'4" and a big body guy that you can have for Trevor Lawrence there. And I think you can develop him as a pass blocker as well. But I do think that you need a guy who can catch, at the tight end position if hopefully not, but if Brenton Strange is out for a spell, I don't think that you're missing much by having a pass catching tight end. So Michael Trigg was number 101 on the consensus. So I took him here.
Okay. And that was your second. Did you give us 88 and 100?
Kyle Lewis, yeah.
Oh, that's
Kyle
right. Lewis was at 88. I've got Daryl Jackson. We talked about him a bunch at defensive tackle at pick 88. Size to play nose, but still give you some pass rush upside. And then at pick 100, I took Caleb Tiernan, the offensive tackle out of Northwestern. I'm looking for a guy, and I've been looking for an offensive lineman with one of these picks. And to me, I'd rather grab, especially with the situation we're in right now. I think they'd like to move off Walker a little, but maybe can't because of the Cole Van Lanen injury rehab situation. So could you get a guy that you could bring in that would enable you to move off of Walker a little, save a little cap space, clear up your books a bit? And Tiernan is a guy that's got left and right side versatility, and like a lot of the tackles in this draft, believe to have the ability to slide inside if necessary. So I think the Jags like that versatility in their linemen, and I'm drafting him to be my swing tackle for the next couple of years, hopefully develop into a long-term starter.
Sure.
Question for you. Do you think, let's just say Van Lanen is out. Let's just say he misses the first game of the season.
Okay.
Do you think that the tackle's position goes to Walker Little, or do you give this to Wyatt Milam?
Doesn't go to anybody. I think to whoever wins it. Okay. I mean, it's that, but would I expect it to be Walker Little based on the way the roster is right now? Yeah, I would, because he's started a bunch of games to tackle, and you're not guessing, hey, here's a rookie who didn't play a whole lot, who we drafted probably to be a guard, and we're going to play him at left tackle now. Or does Anton flip?
Yeah.
There are so many different permutations.
It's going to be take two on fans that are going to be looking for who are the five as we go through training camp are not going to get a clear answer on who the five are.
No, they're going to cross-train them up. But I would think right now, wouldn't you, without knowing, and now they could draft a guy at 56, which could change it. But as it stands right now, I'd bet heavily on Walker Little to be the opening day starter.
I would too.
For this football team. And, there are a lot of options that as long as they've got 5 good ones that they feel comfortable with, and hopefully if Cole is not ready for the start of the season, and we're not saying that he won't be. Yeah. We don't know.
I think it's interesting from an offensive line perspective as to what is Wyatt Milam's best position? I don't know. What is Walker Little's best position? I don't know. Is he a better left tackle than he is a right guard? I don't know. You know what the answer to that question is, but they're going to have to figure out who the 5 are, and it may not be all the guys necessarily even winding up in their best positions. We just don't know.
I would just feel, me personally, a lot more comfortable with the guy who started a bunch of games, who's a really good athlete, who is the idea. He started a bunch of games for you last year when you were winning 13. Yeah. Oh, by the way, then a guy who missed most of his, or didn't make much of an impact his rookie season because he got behind because of injury early on, and that could never break through into the lineup. All right, Chad Ryder, NFL.com, one of our favorite guys at this time of year, laid out a 5-round mock over the weekend. Let's take a look at that when we return, what he has the Jacksonville Jaguars doing. And we'll do that straight ahead here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
Jaguars Today for the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios. Play-by-play sports just sounds better on radio. For high school, college, and pro sports play-by-play, turn on 1010XL.
What's happening, beautiful people? ET here. Let me tell you about a little something that's happening right here in my side of town in Fleming Island. Encore Research Group is advancing the future of medicine through clinical research studies focused on weight loss, diabetes, hypertension, and more. Their team of multi-specialty doctors are proudly serving folks in Fleming Island, Green Coast Springs, and Middleburg. If you ever wondered whether a research study might be right for you, find out at EncoreDocs.com to see if you qualify. Encore Research Group. The future of medicine starts here.
Jaguars Today Monday is built by Dream Finders Homes.
Official home builder of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
I used to dread going to the dentist. Every visit felt like a sales pitch with constant upselling, surprise fees on my bill, and I could never get in when I needed to. But Harbor Dental Care? Totally different. They saw me the next day, gave me honest pricing up front, and even set me up with a payment plan I could actually afford. No pressure, no surprise charges, just kind people who get it. If you want to experience dentistry the way it should be, book your appointment today at harbordental.care. That's HARBOUR dental.care.
Hello, I'm Ed Jackson, president of Ned Jackson Income Tax. Ned Jackson Income Tax has been preparing tax returns in Jacksonville for over 80 years. Our tax preparers at Ned Jackson Income Tax have years of knowledge and experience to help you get your highest possible tax refund and are fully trained on all IRS updates, including the One Big Beautiful Bill. Visit one of Ned Jackson's 4 locations, including our downtown office at 255 North Liberty Street. That's Ned Jackson Income Tax, 356-0349.
At G&H Tires and Service, the G stands for great pricing. The H, well, that means honest service. For over 20 years, Roger and his team have helped Jacksonville drivers stay safe on the road. Need brakes, oil change, AC not blowing cold? Well, how about a super affordable $36 oil change? Affordable brake jobs, AC checks before summer hits, alignments for all these construction roads, and even free check engine light inspections. Locally owned, community driven. G&H Tires and Service on Beach Boulevard.
At the First Coast YMCA, you'll find much more than just a gym. We offer many ways to help you become more active, reach your weight loss goals, and find your inner strength. Membership at the Y includes state-of-the-art facilities, a huge variety of fitness classes, and programs for all ages. It's easy to join the Y since it's affordable for all incomes. The Y is a great place to make connections and experience something new. Visit the YMCA near you or online at fcymca.org.
Living on Amelia Island, having fun in Fernandina Beach? No matter what brings you to the fun, cozy town, make sure you check out the tap room at Mokama Beer Company. With a full flight of craft creations, from the Cosmico IPA to the Motor, the perfect pilsners and lagers, matching memories and some Mokama magic is what it's all about. Mokama Beer Company in Fernandina Beach, near the big water where the sun is born. And look for more Mokama craft at your local Total Wine or ABC Liquors.
Brian and Angela Wall here with Window World. By now, everyone has heard about saving money on their energy bills. There are all sorts of things you can do to cut energy costs, but most people don't think about their windows.
But Window World knows that the biggest energy loss in almost every home is the windows. There is more energy loss from old builder-grade windows than just about anything else in your home.
You can upgrade your heating and air, your appliances. That's good too. But before you do all that, upgrade your windows to Window World's energy-efficient windows.
Window World's windows are easy to clean, energy efficient, and have the best guarantee in the business.
Window World's slogan is simply the best for less, and we mean it. You get great American-made windows, and you get to keep more of your money when you buy from Window World. Need any more reasons to buy your windows from Window World? Call them today and set up your free in-home estimate, or go online to windowworldneflorida.com.
Window World, simply the best for less.
Thank you for your business.
Window World also offers energy-efficient doors.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focus, fueled, fearless, Farah. Now, the Monahan's golden moment. Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach, your local family jewelers.
Well, the golden moment came a few days ago when Trayvon got the gold with the $110 million reported 4-year extension to his contract, which, we'll hear the details on this, but I would presume that means he's playing on the 5th-year option this year with 4 years still to go. Very much like Trevor Lawrence's contract extension, which, by the way, Trevor Lawrence has never made $55 million in a season. Right? I mean, not yet, right? But I mean, that's Trevor's making 55. Well, no, I mean, his extension is going to pay him this. And, at this point in time, you don't think Trevor Lawrence would get that money on the open market? Man, you can do a lot worse than a lot of what the Jags have. And, now that they've got some competent coaching in here and management, we saw last year what a big jump they made from 4 to 13 wins. So let's hope that the gold that lines Travon Walker's pockets now will produce golden performance levels when it comes to sacks on the field as well. Tony, let's look. Chad Ryder, frequent guest of ours here. Wouldn't be surprised if you had him on at some point in the near future, but regardless, here's what he did for the Jacksonville Jaguars. 5-round mock out there. We usually only go 3. It gets progressively harder along the way. Here are a few of the guys that went off in the 2nd round before the Jags had a chance to make a selection. Right at the top of the draft, top of the round, Peter Woods, the Clemson defensive tackle, who is kind of a guy that is polarizing in some regards. Lee Hunter, the defensive tackle out of Texas Tech, at pick 38, going to Houston. There, I don't want to see any good players go to Houston. I know Eli Stowers has been a guy that RJ's had his eye on. He goes to Cincinnati at pick 41. R. Mason Thomas, the Oklahoma edge, connected, a lot of mocks with the Jags, goes at pick 42. Derek Moore, the Michigan edge, goes at pick 45. Jacob Rodriguez, the Texas Tech linebacker, at 46. Christian Miller, the defensive tackle out of Georgia, goes at 48. D'Angelo Pons, who, RJ, you had at pick, 81 today? Or no, 56 for the Jags. He goes at 49 here. Anthony Hill at 50. Malachi Lawrence at 51. These are all names that have been mocked to the Jags frequently throughout. They end up, Grayson Halton goes one pick ahead of them, the Oklahoma defensive tackle. I think you had him in your mock today, Tom, right? They go Rayshawn Benny, the Michigan defensive tackle, and not an issue with the position. We'll see what the Jags think about the fit if that were to be their option. Austin Barber out of Florida goes at 57. That's a guy, man, that now, I have no idea where he's going to go, but his profile, like every time I look at these mocks, like I had a chance today to take him at 100, but I went with a different offensive lineman because I've mocked Barber to the Jags so many times.
Right.
I think he fits that profile as well of being able to play either side, good developmental piece, doesn't have to start right away necessarily for this team. So anyway, that was interesting. Danny Dennis Sutton goes at 59. Malachi Fields, who you had in your mock today, goes at 60. So those are some of the highlights of round 2. And Malik Muhammad, right. Another one at 58. So these guys coming off early. Round 3 for Chad Ryder at NFL.com as far as the Jags go. He had Max Clare, who I had at 81. He had at 81. I feel halfway smarter. We're both dummies. By the way, Mike Washington, the Arkansas running back, went at 79. A lot of people I've seen still mocking running back. Darrell Jackson goes 72 here. So in between their first 2 picks, Jake Golday came off the board as well, among others. Let's see, at 88, Kyle Lewis, who RJ had at that exact spot. I know you've had a hankering for him as well, Tony, the Pittsburgh linebacker. And then at pick 100, the Jags go to Cario Davis out of Washington. I asked Tony if he knew much about him. I don't. And I looked him up. 6'4" cornerback. You don't get many corners that size in the National Football League or anywhere for that matter. But a 6'4", 195-pound corner out of Washington. All right, we get into round 4. We're in a little bit of uncharted territory here for the Jags. Running back Nicholas Singleton out of Penn State. He got 11 picks. I won't be shocked if they take a running back, but I don't think it's a necessity. I don't. Again, value, and yes, Chris Rodriguez is not proven as a high-volume ball carrier, nor is Bajal Tootin, but you got to make a projection at some point. How many running backs can you realistically carry on this team, Tom?
Right. And trying to figure out exactly if they are going to draft a running back, what would they be looking for? Right. And I'll be honest, I haven't looked enough into Singleton to have a real opinion.
He's just got that incredible athletic profile.
Right. So he seems, just based on looking at it a little bit, he seems to be, the all-around back kind of future, kind of thing for the football team. I'm not even sure if they go the running back direction, what they'd be looking for necessarily at the position. I think the room's in pretty all right shape right now, but it's not in good enough shape that I'd be all that stunned if they drafted
one. If they take one, fine. But if they don't take one, also fine. That's how I feel anyway. I feel like you can go to bat with Tootin, Rodriguez, Tootin at the top. LaQuint Allen is your third down back. You still have DJ Dallas in the mix. You still have Jaquindon Jackson on the practice squad, as an option. I don't know if he's got the speed to play at this level. Whatever. All right, so moving on beyond that, the 2 picks in the 5th round, 164 and 166. Let's see, Caleb Douglas out of Texas Tech, the wide receiver, and then Patrick Payton, an LSU edge rusher. That was a projected trade with Buffalo. What pick? I thought they had those picks very close in the 5th round, if I'm not mistaken. But this was maybe that they're talking about the one with the Bills right before there at pick 165. But either way, this pick's been passed around San Francisco through Philadelphia. Now the Jags have it. So they get another edge rusher there at pick 166. I don't know if he took a straight edge earlier in the draft. Took defensive tackle. Again, it's a mock, but if you want to check out the details, go to NFL.com, and Chad Ryder put that together out there for you. All right, one final segment to go. Some last thoughts on the Trayvon deal as we send you off into the afternoon. XL Primetime at the top of the hour. You're listening to Jaguars Today on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
Jaguars Today from the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios of 1010XL. Streaming live from the XL Digital Studios. Polished by Harbor Dental Care, the locally owned smile restoration experts.
In this age of globalization, we've learned that bigger isn't always better. Ever tried to get phone help from a big corporation? From a real person? Good luck. That is what's so nice about Mike Merritt's Heating and Air. Unlike publicly traded conglomerates with headquarters in faraway cities, Mike Merritt's Heating and Air remains family-owned and operated by Mike, your neighbor. Mike Merritt has delivered hometown service, integrity, and pricing for generations. The big guys incentivize their techs to sell you new equipment. Mike's team emphasizes repair first. We only sell you equipment if your current equipment is worn out and beyond repair. And let's be honest about price. Small operations without much overhead can sometimes lowball your job, but you can't trust just anyone with a truck. They may be here today and gone tomorrow. Mike Merritt has been keeping North Florida cool for more than 3 decades. That's experience and dedication you can count on. Call today or see us on the web.
Florida license number CAC 050384.
Dreamfinders Homes Monday on Jaguars Today.
Hey, Hickett here. Oh, buddy, it's my turn now. TopDressing.com coming to do my lawn, baby. Look, I met with their staff, Salt of the Earth guys, locally operated right here in Jackson. Heck, I've been troubled just like you by the St. Augustine grass since I've lived here. I can't wait to have their proprietary process go to work for me. I'm chatting with them now to get on the schedule. It's easy, and you can too. You want to truly transform your lawn, look like a golf course, call today for a free estimate, and top dress your lawn like the pros with TopDressing.com.
Get ready for spring turkey season at Green Acres Sporting Goods. Find shotguns trusted in the field from Browning, Beretta, and Benelli. Plus, the newest bows are ready to test shoot from Hoyt and Matthews. For over 55 years, Green Acres Sporting Goods has helped Northeast Florida hunters gear up with confidence. Stop by Green Acres today at the corner of Normandy and Hammond Boulevard or shop online anytime at greenacresporting.com.
What if the next roof you put on your home was the last one? Not another replacement in 15 or 20 years, the last roof. Metlock Roofing is Florida's only manufacturer and installer of this exclusive roofing system. Engineered for strength, built for Florida weather, backed by a lifetime warranty. Imagine never needing another roof. Call 938-9933 or visit metlokroofing.com. Get your last roof today with Metlock. License number CCC 1335581.
Jacksonville, Leon Searcy here, your lemon pepper guy. Locked in with Wingstop for Hoops Madness. The Final Four is here, and the move is simple. 30 wings for $30. Lemon pepper, classic, or mix them up. Get your order in now and pre-order so it's hot and ready right at tip-off. Visit wingstop.com or hit the app and lock in that 30 for 30 deal while it lasts this weekend at Wingstop. For the madness, 30 boneless or classic wings with up to 3 different flavors, only at Wingstop.
When you need a mechanic you can trust, call Sam, Harry, or Joe at AA Automotive on Richard Street. From oil changes to complex engine repairs, AA Automotive promises expert service and honest pricing from a local family biz. AA Automotive on Richard Street.
Hey, it's Brent with Arcosa Crushed Concrete. If you've got concrete or asphalt rubble on your site, let me buy it from you, and I will recycle it into construction material for your future projects. Arcosa Crushed Concrete. Get paid for what you don't need.
MyGate Rewards members, this deal is just for you. Right now, grab any 2 12-ounce Red Bulls and get 2 of your favorite roller grill items for just $1. When you need a boost, Gates got you. See store for details.
Surf into Summer Surf Camp. Jacksonville and its beaches' #1 surf camp is now registering for camps this summer. For registration and session dates, go to surfintosummer.com. Surf into Summer, Jacksonville Beach's premier surf camp.
1010XL, presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still, present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch. Jaguars Today on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Yeah, so went out to the Clay County Fair on Friday, Tony. It was packed. It was a great scene. I was Surprise. I was surprised. I told you Friday to learn that the world record for eating corn dogs is only 11 in 3 minutes, the way they consume all this other stuff. We had a 5-minute window. I don't know. I thought somebody might be pushing double figures. I think our winner in the adult category got a bite in on their 6th corn dog. But hope they enjoyed an evening of rides after shoving corn dogs down their throat. But we had a lot of fun out there at the Clay County Fair. 1010XL is going to be out there again all week long. Today, we asked you our Chad and Sandy real estate question of the day. React to the deal that Trayvon Walker got. 4-year extension, reportedly worth $110 million. You know, sometimes the money after a week, you're like, oh, well, this much there and that much the other. And it really works out to a whatever kind of deal. But that's what's being reported. So universal acclaim for this deal. And granted, you know, I mean, I think it's very easy to find that. A little surprised there wasn't some pushback whatsoever, although it wasn't going to be coming from us. Scott said, perfect example of draft and develop. Good deal for both sides. Matt said, defense a lot better with him playing, so it's well-deserved. If you can improve pass rush consistency, we could be looking at an elite-level player. I don't think he's reached his potential yet. 83 Jags said very happy with it. Carl said terrific deal and value. Bishop to Rook feeling really good about the signing. He deserves it. Code Blue, I think it was a smart move. Paul, glad he's going to be a Jag a lot longer. Andre, he's roughly the 10th best playing defensive end. It's not a bargain. It's not an overly big price. It's just right. I don't know if he's the 10th best or not, but I know this. If he has a season closer to the 2 years he had prior to last year, he would have been making, in my opinion, closer to $35 million a year next year than 27.5.
And I think the reaction that we've expressed, and it seems to match the fan reaction we're getting this morning as well. Like, I think it makes sense given that we had all kind of accepted, all right, the Trayvon deal, they're going to have to figure out how to get 32 to 35 million.
Something.
You know, for Trayvon Walker. And instead they get this deal done now, and we all go, oh, wow. You know, like compared to where we thought it might land with Trayvon Walker, that they do it a year early, that the situation didn't seem contentious at all. Everyone's happy with getting the deal done now. Like, it's just, I know my reaction to it, a lot of it is, I thought this would be complicated. I'm so glad that they were able to get it done.
Yeah, in my opinion, you may disagree with this. I think if Trayvon were to have been a free agent this year, coming off the 3.5 sack season, his career is what it is. There was no 5th-year option. I think Trayvon got more money than Jalen Phillips this year. When you factor in age,
certainly
ability to play the run, past success rushing the passer, I think he would have gotten it now in an open bidding environment. And Phillips got $30 million a year. And again, why do we use him as an example? Because he's a pass rusher who has been comparable to Trayvon, but not better. He's at 8.5 was his best year, and that came like in 2021. I mean, he's still in his 20s, but he's not 25 years old. Trayvon's not turning 26 till next December 18th. I just think all the different boxes it checks on this deal. Now, if Trayvon goes out and has 3.5 sacks, we're going to have a conversation about it. That is, if Trayvon's healthy and has 3.5 sacks. I don't think that'll be the case. The 2 previous years, he was a 10.5 sack guy. And I think we can see something like that again if he's able to play 16, 17 games at full strength. And he has the ability to grasp with that hand. So we'll find out, man. I just think that from a Jaguar standpoint, now I'm excited to find out, like, what are you going to get on Parker? You know, because Parker goes out there this year and gets 1,200 yards. Now, granted, he's never at 850, right? So he's been up close to it this year. But if he were to get 1,200 this year, what does his market look like next year?
Like, if they're really able to get a deal done with Parker somewhere in that 17 range now, like, if they're able to pull all that off in this same offseason, I mean, my goodness, the work they're getting done. They're competent. I say, the front office is acting competent around these parts, man. It's for a stretch, for like a 12-month stretch now, Tony. We've had competency. And it feels like we dealt with a decade where players just didn't want to be here.
Yeah.
Right? Like everything is kind of,
and that matters.
You know, the Jalen and the Yannick Ngakoue thing, like it paints how you feel about the Jaguars dealing with this stuff for the past 12
Couldn't wait
years.
to get out of there.
Right? And now they got a bunch of guys that are like, yeah, I want to be here.
Yeah.
For my whole career. It's new ground for a lot of Jaguars fans right now.
All right. Our time is done. Let's welcome in XL Primetime.
Now, the 2-minute drill is driven by nobody but Nimnicht. Nimnicht Chevrolet on Cassett Avenue and Nimnicht Buick GMC on Phillips Highway.
Hello, Big Sirs.
Gentlemen, how you doing?
We're doing well. Not as well as Trayvon, but that's okay. You know,
cash money.
I wasn't doing as well as Trayvon last Thursday either, so it doesn't really matter, at least financially. But did this break before you guys went off the air?
No.
Okay, so
afterwards,
fresh reactions today,
absolutely
coming
yes.
up. Without spoiling your show, or do you think it's a good deal for the Jags? Good deal for Trayvon? What is your initial?
I mean, y'all just talked about it. It's a lot to be said about a guy who just wants to be here, wants to be a part of the organization. It's refreshing, to be quite honest with you. I mean, because we've dealt with 10 years of stench, guys trying to bounce, trying to leave, organizational issues with contracts and all that kind of stuff. I mean, it's kind of refreshing to see, you know, guys that want to stay here and be a part of the growth of the Jaguars.
Yeah, it's funny too, right? The NFLPA a few years back, after Tom Coughlin made some noise about, I expect guys to be at voluntary workouts or or I desire that.
Yeah, that was a Telvin thing, wasn't it?
Yeah, but it was like they put out the word like, hey, be careful about dealing with this team. What about Declan Doyle? He called out Lamar Jackson. I expect to see him at voluntary workouts, and he shows up. Did the Ravens get a notice from the league that you're not allowed to compel people to do voluntary things, or are we just the team at the end of the rope?
Well, I mean, listen, when I was here, it was voluntary mandatory.
Right. Well, I get it. But it is still voluntary. And
That's true.
Tom Brady skipped them all the damn time. All the time he skipped the offseason workouts. Never showed up. Well, he knew the offense. Okay, but he wasn't working with the same teammates every year.
True.
And he exercised that right, and nobody said boo because he won a bunch of championships. So Lamar's won a couple of MVPs, but
didn't have the leverage yet, huh?
He has the leverage if he chooses to exercise it because it's the CBA that backs him up.
Yeah, I kind of want to see chaos in him not show.
I always like chaos, as long as it's in the other markets.
Exactly, as long as it's not at our front door.
Sirs, have a great show.
Appreciate it, bro.
A lot to get into today. Leon Searcy and the XL Primetime crew coming up for the next couple of hours. All right, that does it for me for the week.
Yeah.
How about that, man? Done on a Monday.
We'll see you next Monday.
Yes, sir. I'll be back for Mock Draft Monday with you guys next week. Tony, again, go through the lineup. Who do you have hopping in for me this week?
Yeah, it'll be Jamal St. Cyr tomorrow with me. I think I may be doing a one-hit wonders top 5 in Jaguars history for that on a Tuesday top 5. I got John Shipley coming in on Wednesday, Mike DeRocco Thursday, and Tommy Mack on Friday.
All right, my first initial thought on one-hit wonders, and maybe there are much better ones, is just the Allen Robinson 1,400-yard, 14-touchdown season.
Yeah.
Like, bolt out of the blue kind of thing. A good player, but that was...
Yeah, and I think I want to qualify it as it can be a play, it can be a game, it can be a season.
I gotcha.
It can just be a moment.
Okay.
Right, in franchise history, that kind of thing.
Fair enough. All right, that's coming up tomorrow. I'll be on the lookout for at 1010XL Fat Tony on the X platform, giving you maybe an early preview of the Tuesday top 5. That does it for me today. Thanks to Tony Smith and RJ Saunders. They'll be with you all week long. I'll be back next Monday as we move ever closer to the NFL draft. So thanks for tuning in. Congrats to Travon Walker, and hopefully more contract extensions to discuss in the near term. Stick around. XL Primetime is next on 1010XL and 92.5 FM. Hey, folks, Mike Dempsey here for 5-Star Bath Solutions. I cannot give you a better endorsement than saying I use a company's product in my own home. 5-Star Bath Solutions is the company I went to after a rigorous process. I interviewed a lot of different companies when it was time to replace my bathtub with a brand new walk-in shower. I went with 5-Star. They're locally owned. They're fast. They've got great reviews for customer service. You get a full lifetime warranty on products, labor, and materials, and surprisingly inexpensive as well. Your solution is 5-Star, like mine was. Check them out.